All right, and welcome, Plunksters. Here we
Hi.
are, right back. Like we left something just in time. I think my cat is throwing up.
Uh-oh. Oh, poor Charlie.
Just why you gotta do that? Yeah. Anyways,
And right under you. That is so
right,
precious
right.
of her.
How did I get so lucky? Well, welcome all. Thank you for joining us. Once again, this is Plunk. This is the show where we celebrate two teams from one city, that city being Chicago, and those teams being the Chicago White Sox and the Chicago Cubs, both respectively. I am one of your hosts, Emilio Bucks, joined by.
Kristen Fertit, your other host.
All right. So what's going on, Kristen?
Nothing. Just watching the game. So they keep seeing me looking to the side because I
That's
did
right,
not.
both of us.
Yeah, I did not position myself correctly to look straight ahead at the game.
I can't, so it's just we got some Sunday night baseball going on right now. White Sox in New York playing the Yankees. We are in the bottom of the seventh, and 0-0, which is a good sign because that means the Yankees aren't beating up on us, scoring a bunch of runs. But you can't win a game 0-0, so we're gonna have to put some on the board.
The bad thing is that they've had so many chances with men on base.
So
Bases
many
loaded,
missed
2 men on.
opportunities. Stranded 7 complete men so far. 4 of them in scoring position. You got to take advantage, especially against a Yankees
Yeah.
team,
Yes.
and behind a magnificent pitching performance by Michael Kopech, who was
Yes.
perfect through 5 and into the 6th inning.
And to one hit so far,
Against
this
a
team,
very heavy Yankees team.
yeah, that this is a great performance, regardless of what happens, at least through these 6 innings. It's been great.
Absolutely. Kopech yet to. I think this is the farthest. Might be the farthest they've allowed Kopech to go. Going into the 7th inning, I don't know. It's still very mysterious as to why they're watching his pitch count as hard as they are. But
Mhm.
and good evening, my cousin. How are you? Mesmeriz Wilson Smith.
Hi. And not only is he pitching well, he's making them look silly on pitches. Like Stanton just swung at a pitch and looked silly. Maybe they watch him so much because he does throw so hard, and that's just a recipe for bad things.
That is true. That is true. They've been slow to let him to really like take the lock off of him, and but it seems to be paying off. So
Right.
I mean, what can you really say? You know what I mean? He is currently. Let me see. Where are we with this game?
There's 2 outs in the 7th.
Yeah, so he's in 7th. 0 earned, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, which I
Now
think
it's his second walk, right? Or is this his first walk,
we're
Giancarlo?
about to see. I think,
Oh,
and there's the first walk.
that's
My
the first walk.
internet is a little bit faster than
Okay.
ESPN, so I saw that walk coming.
That's
Um,
and did you hear on the broadcast that Kopech is like number 1 in the league in so many categories? Like you don't even realize he's number 1 in so many categories. Maybe because he was on paternity leave and they watch him so closely so he doesn't pitch that long. Maybe that's why you don't even realize how great he's been this year.
I think for a starting pitcher, his innings pitched thus far is kind of on the low end, but I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, 1.54 ERA. You know, that puts you at the top of the majors. You
Yeah,
know, when
and
there's a starting pitching, he's done nothing but start this year. So
yeah, and the batting average against, the batting average when with men on, he's been
it's impressive.
yeah, it's been what Sox fans have been waiting for or been told that was coming, right?
And you know, it's so disheartening that we have these stellar pitching performances. And you know, as great as he's pitched, you know, and I know the pitchers records, you know, they don't mean as much as they used to. Still a 0-1 record, you
Hmm.
know, and that speaks to, you know, the Sox not being able to provide a lot of run support for these great pitching outings that we've been seeing,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
he's at what 83 pitches. This will probably be his last inning.
Yeah, I would think so. And you know, and now you're going to see the Yankees somehow put together some runs. So, and that's not a knock against our bullpen, but that's just like how good our starters have been.
Yeah.
You know, teams are waiting to get to the bullpen because they don't have much of a chance against our starters unless your name is Dallas Keuchel.
Well, he pitched not
Yeah,
last game, but the game before last.
right. You know, he's like
He's
he's kind of like
or that Velasquez. It's been
or
a little rough for
Velasquez.
him.
You know, like with Keuchel, he's kind of like 2 on, 2 off, or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
And the 2 off are bad. Hey, Dad, boo Yankees. That's right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Boo Yankees.
That's right. Go Sox. That should not
I
mean
think
the
her Mets beat
Redmonds.
the Rockies today.
That's right. The Mets are just a juggernaut. They
Hmm. And they lost Scherzer for 6 to 8 weeks, so it's going to test that they worked hard on getting depth this
mhm.
offseason. So now they're getting ready to test their depth.
Gotta test that. Gotta test that because you know
Uh
injuries,
oh,
as we know, are part of the game.
2 walks. Dun, dun, dun,
Uh,
dun. But there's 2 outs, so it's just all they need is one more out.
yeah, it's
Somebody's up in the
this.
bullpen.
Yeah,
Don't worry, you're a concerned Sox
I
fan.
know. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be
He can't even get back to the
I know I
show.
can't keep my eyes. This is getting kind of heavy right now.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's someone named Esteban Florio.
yeah,
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly.
I'm not familiar with
Exactly. That's why it
Florida.
shouldn't be a problem.
Should not be, but you know, let's hope for the best. So to get me focused on something besides the game, let's we're coming off 2 wins today. Both the Sox and the Cubs won today. Um, if anybody cares, you know the White Sox are now playing the second end of a doubleheader. Um, Cubs, the Cubs offense is a competitive offense.
Yeah. They have teams have been nicknamed the Heartbreak Kids, the what else? There's so many things, but they're the try hard kids. There's the cardiac kids, all these names that they give teams when they're doing something normal. And the Cubs are going to try hard. Mm. That's all we can ask for right now because they're going to try hard. They're going to give you all they've got. Sometimes it's just not going to be good enough because they're not good enough. But you're going to get effort every game. And so that's nice to watch. And then today it was the Schwindel and Wisdom show.
I
So
saw that with back-to-back
yeah.
dingers.
So they're always going to try hard. You're always going to get an effort. It's not always going to be pretty, but you're always going to get an effort. So
I think that's one of the advantages of playing Wrigley. It's a very infectious ballpark. Like the energy there, no matter how the team is doing per se. The energy is always magnificent and Wrigley. I must say, this is coming from a Sox fan who still prefers to go to guaranteed rate, but the energy in Wrigley is unparalleled. You know what I mean? And so you're going to get some exciting moments, no matter who's on the roster, because it's just kind of infectious. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I wanted to ask you a couple of things about your Cubs, and Contreras just hit a milestone this past week. Want to talk about that a little bit, maybe?
So he hit his 100th home run. He was very
100 home run.
emotional.
Very much.
He's now hurt day to day. But he was very emotional. He never thought he hit his home run. He never thought he hit it here with the Cubs. So real update, Kopech got out the inning. So that's
All
good.
right, all right, all right.
7 innings. That should be the end
That's
because
it. He's
he
pumped.
did, and he reared back to get him out and was very excited.
He's like, all right, I got it. This is my last pitch. I guess.
Yeah,
He gave it his all. Yeah,
he did. So it's nice to see with Wilson. I like Wilson, and so you want to, and he's I think he's the only one left, right? Or half, I guess. He's the only one left from the real core.
Yes.
Well,
Hendricks. You know.
Oh, I forget about him. Okay. That's right. All right. Well, offense. The offense. He's a position player that you thought was going to be here for that 10-year window that they thought they had when they had that core group. And so he is still here. He struck out that damn Yankee. Wilson is still here, and he's still doing his part. He's becoming a leader. And he wants to stay here, but he also wants to see what's in free agency. So, I'm happy for Wilson. I want him to keep doing well. He's been leading off when he's in there, so he's been kind of a spark plug, and I think he kind of likes that. So that's good. But it was touching to see him so touched by that 100th home run.
It really was. It was a feel good moment that you didn't. Well, I didn't quite expect, and then you kind of felt it, like, oh wow, this is a big deal, and you almost felt a tinge of like he knows this could be his last run as a Cub, and you kind of heard that in his voice, and well, I guess we'll see what happens now. What do you think? Should they re-sign Contreras?
Okay, if they're doing a rebuild, no. But I don't want to rebuild. So if you're doing a restructure, then yes, he should be one of the people you sign. He's 30, I believe. Still an excellent catcher. And he can play the outfield. He can also play first base. So, and now in the National League, he can DH. He's a quality bat. He's an important bat. He's an important player for other Latin players and other players on the team, period. I know he can probably be a little annoying sometimes to some people because he's always on and always just kind of hyper.
He's ready. Bring that energy.
Yeah, but that's
kicking.
Right. That's how he plays, which is why he was so emotional. He's just an emotional person. Yeah. So for me, I don't want to rebuild because a rebuild is 3 to 4 years of really bad. Like for the rebuild to really happen, they're going to have to get worse than they are next year. And I don't want that. So, and according to Jed Hoyer, that's not their plan. So based on what Jed Hoyer has said, then they need to re-sign Wilson Contreras because he should be part of this new core.
I would think so, and if they don't, he can come south to the.
There's going to be a lot of people who won't mind him coming because he doesn't have to just be your catcher.
No, he doesn't.
Looking at the Sox catchers,
he's a very good defensive catcher.
He is, and he can throw out anybody. Yeah. He's improved his framing. He's improved his blocking behind the plate. And when you look at the Sox and that offensive production you're getting from your catchers, you'd love Wilson Contreras.
This is none.
So Wilson would be quite the upgrade for a lot of people. Yeah. But I hope he signs here. if they trade him, then just like they signaled when they traded everyone else, then people can forget about, oh, they're just restructuring. They're just, they had to get rid of those contracts to bring in new ones. If he's gone, they're completely rebuilding and they're going to be horrible.
So it sounds like you're saying, yes, re-sign him. And if they re-sign him, that's probably a sure sign of a restructuring and not a full-on rebuild.
Yes. Yep. They're going to replenish kind of how the Yankees have done every year.
Mm-hmm.
They've come close. I forgot what year that was, but they still can't get over the hump. But they haven't shut everything down or traded away Judge or anybody who can get them.
Right.
Geraldus is still here, and there's been plenty of maybe not this year, but before this year, people still pay a premium price for him. And they haven't done that, but they've added people. So that's supposedly what the Cubs are supposed to do. And I think they're really banking on Correa opting out.
Yeah, I hope Correa opts out too.
I think they're hoping because I think in their minds, that would be their big fish. Re-signing Wilson, and then now we're getting Correa. That's signaling to all the other players we're ready to be back.
Now, what big pitchers are out there after this season?
I don't know. We'll need to look that up.
Free agent.
That's good.
Oh yeah, totally.
And good for at least 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna get another John Lester type of signing, like one of the greatest Cubs free agent signings ever.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought that Lester was such a horse and a tank that could play at that level for so long that he did? I don't know if he would have answered that correctly had he been asked. There's some people, a lot of old guys.
Yeah.
A lot of old guys.
And so the Cubs, okay, so the Cubs will probably, all right, so they have Stroman and they have Hendricks. I think they like Miley. I don't remember how long they have him. And then Justin Steele. And so then they still have Smiley, but they need at least one John Lester like. The Sox may be about to score. No. Okay. They need to sign like a John Lester like pitcher.
Workhorse, yes.
Yes. I mean, no one's gonna go get Trevor Bauer. David Price. When was the last time he was good?
Good, about 5, 6, 7 years ago or something like that.
And these have club options. Now there's Jacob deGrom, but he stays hurt. But I'd still try him. Carlos Rodon has a club option, but he's pitching so well, they'll probably.
And that we'll see where he is at the end of the season.
They have a player option. I'm sorry. These are people. They have player options, so they can decide if they want to go see about someone else. Carlos Rodon.
Of course, Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke.
Yeah. Sonny Gray has a club option. Luis Severino, who's pitched tonight for the Yankees, he had Tommy John surgery. He was on like pace to be really good. Then he had Tommy John, but he was good tonight. He was able to get out of all that trouble.
Yes,
but he's still not that veteran with still a lot left in him that I'm talking about. Okay, so it may have to be another year. Okay, so maybe they have Jacob deGrom, Carlos Rodon, Noah Syndergaard, Charlie Morton. That's about it. Aaron Nola.
Wainwright.
So I don't know.
Adam Wainwright. So, well, another question that I have for you about the Chicago Cubs is with this being a restructuring or a rebuild, besides obviously Wilson Contreras, uh, sorry, right in the middle of the question. Uh, who else do you keep on this team? Do you keep Hendricks? How many more years do you have Hendricks?
I'm okay with Hendricks not being kept. And I think then they re-signed him. He was one of the people who re-signed, or not re-signed. Like they gave him some sort of extension or something. Let's see, contract. He is signed till 2024. Lord have mercy.
Okay, so you got a lot more to professor. Like,
Lord have mercy.
But the best news, the biggest and the best news is who won't be a part of a restructure or rebuild or whatever the hell you want to call it is our favorite cheerleader, our most expensive smart baseball player, Mr. Jason.
He only has next year is his last year in
Yeah.
his contract. So
Man, they gave
and,
him
and he doesn't even get to
money.
What'd you say?
They gave him a lot of guaranteed money.
Man.
A lot of years.
And they bid against the Cardinals, who were never gonna pay him as much as the Cubs did. And I like him. And it's fine that he was on the team, but it's just lasted too many years.
It's just been too long. And then you see the other guys that are gone, and it's like, okay, Rizzo's gone, Bryant's gone. Like,
Baez is gone.
He's still here? Like,
And
out of all of them, he's
like,
not the one you would have still wanted here.
I was like, how are you still here?
Yeah.
No, it's one of those like, okay, he wanted that annual, that overall contract. You almost wish that they would have paid him. They would have paid him so much up front. Like his earlier years would have been way more money. So now in the back end, it would have been 10 million. Yes. And maybe more clubs need to start thinking that way. Contreras. Okay, Wilson wants a. All right, Sox have scored.
All right.
Just to let you know.
All right.
You listen to me?
Yes.
Am I frozen?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I think I died. Did I get frozen? Okay.
I hear you.
Am I freezing?
You did for a second, but not anymore.
Okay, because I was telling you the Sox scored, and then it went frozen. I was like, oh, hello. Okay.
No, but you never froze.
Oh, I didn't.
I never saw you froze.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Plunksters. But so maybe when it's time for Wilson Contreras, he might want 4 or 5 years. Okay, he's 30 now. 34 is still not that bad for a hitter, especially with the DH. But maybe you should think about if he wants 160 million, figure it out. So either you pay him like a Bobby Bonilla, so he gets a lot after, or you give him the majority up front.
Grabs over the years.
Yes. So. Or you, out of that 160, he gets almost half of it in the first 2 years. Now, some people might say, no way, that's not smart. But my thinking is at least you can trade them towards the end. If it's divided in 4, you're either going to have to take some of that money to then trade them. So either way, you're going to lose out on money. So
I mean, if he turns out to be disappointing even on the
they scored again.
We got some more action here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they scored. It's 2-0 Sox.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Okay. And after I was just talking trash about our hitting, the hitting of our catchers. And
there you go.
Reese McGuire comes through with a much needed single.
The Yankees at the trade deadline, they're gonna need to address their bullpen.
Absolutely,
that's their Achilles heel.
Absolutely, and Aroldis is not looking good anymore.
He needs to go into a setup role and maybe even not an important part.
Yeah.
So he can figure it out. But I mean, they're not my team, so I guess I don't care what they do. But if you're
Ultimately, I
you're
only
a
think
Yankees
about
fan,
it. I only think about them in the sense of, you know, can we make the playoffs, and who will we face in the
that's
playoffs?
right.
You know what I mean?
So it's like
I'm
for
still trying to be positive here.
yeah, the Yankees have to they're gonna have to, if the bullpen stays that way, they're gonna have to always like outslug people.
Right. And that's not gonna work in the postseason.
No, because you're gonna face the best pitchers.
You gotta face the best pitcher. I mean, we saw that with the White Sox the last 2
Yeah.
years. You know what I mean? We couldn't outslug the best pitchers
Yeah.
out there. So
and it's good to see they're doing more than, like you said last year, bum slayers, because they're not facing bums when the playoffs come.
exactly, they're facing their best, and and I have to check these metrics. How we're faring against winning teams thus far this season. Because at no point were we playing well against winning teams last year.
Debbie's already on it.
Oh yeah, our producer. Deb, how are the Sox looking against teams just above 500 this year? And my man Frank, I agree. Contreras would look good on the South Side. I gotta say.
But are you guys willing? Okay, are the Sox willing to pay that type of money?
Probably not.
I
Historically,
mean, even for anyone that's going to be coming up, like how you mentioned, if Contreras wants to opt out, moving Anderson to second.
Correa.
Yeah, what did I say?
Contreras, but yeah,
Correa.
Yeah. I want them to throw the boatload and the private plane at Aaron Judge. I mean, like just give him what he wants.
I think.
I mean,
I say the Cubs need to do that too with one of them. Him,
yeah.
Contreras, to retain him. Correa, any of those other big names that are going to be out there.
Yeah, because if you snuff the Yankees, then you at least got to go to the Dodgers or a Chicago team.
Yeah,
is what I think.
No one else is going to pull a Correa unless they get the same 1 year opt out. Yeah, and he worked it perfectly with the pandemic. So
yes, he did.
Or the lockout. It was more of the lockout, not the pandemic.
Yes. So another last question I have for you about this current Cubs team. David Ross has done an okay job with what he's had to work with.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see his future being? Is he the new Ricky Renteria? Like Ricky Renteria in Chicago will forever be known as like the setup manager.
Like Doug Collins.
Yeah.
Can do some. Tim Anderson just went deep.
Oh, buddy.
It's 5-0.
Oh, buddy.
Last year, the Sox were 16-21 against above 500 teams, Frank said.
All right. Thank you, Frank.
And it's probably
good deal. TA goes deep, and we got a 5-0. And he is getting the boos, got the ball thrown back, and he's shushing the crowd. If you didn't see the brouhaha yesterday, I don't know if you caught that yesterday with the watching Yankees and
with the Jackie comment.
They called him Jackie.
Yeah, Donaldson.
I don't know. I'll touch on that a little bit later. But now we were talking a bit about David Ross. Is he the Doug Collins? Is he the Ricky Renteria?
I think so. When he first took the job, they did make the playoffs during that COVID shortened season. And he still had Rizzo and Bryant and etc. So
the whole team. The core was still there.
And so then they were bad, and now he doesn't have the core. So to me, he doesn't have any pressure as a coach because there's no expectations. He's there to just, he can give them some wisdom give them suggestions, help coach them, mentor them, and things like that. But there aren't any expectations for him to really be good. So
Mm-hmm.
this is also at this point like a stepping stone for him. But I do not think that he should be the manager when things turn around. I think he can be the manager as these young kids are coming up and he can help mentor them, etc. But then when they're ready, it's time to go out and find Joe Madden,
Mm-hmm.
etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever you need to find that can take them to the next level. It's not David Ross. I wasn't on board, when they hired him, but he's done fine. He's done good enough.
He's kind of like he's a Robin Ventura, like kind of
Yeah,
like you don't know quite why he got the job
exactly.
in the first place, or unless I don't see him as the guy that when things really turn around. I don't see him
Hmm.
as the guy either, and frankly, I don't think Jed Hoyer and the Cubs do either.
No,
I don't think he was hired for that. I think he's hired for what he's doing, and
doing right now
he's
the
hired to be
bridge.
the in between guy. And
Yeah,
I kind of have a feeling that was communicated to him.
might have been. There were the rumors that they hired him because he was more of a yes guy. Now,
Hmm.
I don't know if that's true. That was just one of the rumors that when the relationship between Theo, Jed, and Joe Madden I think I called him John Madden the first time. Joe Madden, when it started to deteriorate. And it was because Joe Madden had his own ideas. These are the rumors. And Theo and Jed had their own ideas. And they're like, you know what? Let's get some, fresh face in here, fresh
Fresh
eyes, and
perspectives, fresh
someone who's going to
ears.
listen to our ideas.
Basically, fresh ears who really
Yes.
tell
Who
them.
will say like, "Oh, okay, I'll try it,"
Yeah.
instead of wanting to try their own. And so, but he's done well enough with what he has.
Hmm.
Does anyone else see him as the David Ross as the guy that can take you to the top? I don't think so, because he hasn't had that opportunity either. Because who's taking this group anywhere?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So yeah, all right. Now I have some questions for you for your socks. Now that I
All
have
right.
your attention because it's commercial break.
Right. For a
Uh,
minute. For a minute.
so
Okay.
there's plenty of season left to make
Yes.
the run that most people think the Sox will make. What do you think is missing from this team? Because there is something missing. Forget about today, with these runs and everything. It happens once in a while, but feels like something's missing. What do you think it is?
Well, I'll go beyond saying the obvious of hitting.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get more in depth about it and really patient at bats, patient hitting. They're swinging at a ton of stuff out of the strike zone. They're almost last in the majors in walks, and I think that's huge. Right now, the pace that they are on home runs is similar, if not, if maybe a little bit less than it was last year. They're still hitting the ball hard, but they're just not getting on base enough.
Mm.
Um, Too many single, solo home runs. For example, when a guy hits a home run, we just saw TA hit with two on, but like you said, let's forget about this game for a minute. Just overall, I've seen a lot of solo TA home runs. You know what I mean? That wow, would have been nice to have a man or two on board when he hit that. Same with Lubov. So I think patient at bats is almost like they're trying to be too aggressive with their hitting. It's like they got this moniker of being this great juggernaut offense, and so they said, okay, let's go out and try to kill the ball every time instead of sometimes being patient and just taking what's given to them. So I think that's patient hitting. I look at the hitting coach and kind of wonder like where they are with this, like why this isn't being addressed, or I don't know, maybe it is being addressed.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately players got to play,
Yeah.
and do the things that they're instructed to do. So maybe they are being instructed to be more patient and aren't
Hmm.
doing it. I don't know. I feel like, when a hitter struggles, he can oftentimes make it worse by trying harder
Yeah.
instead of just kind of taking his time and just kind of understanding, okay, I'm going to come out of this slump.
Hmm.
Maybe I need to tweak something. But when you're struggling, you put a lot of pressure on yourself. Rush at they're rushing a lot of at bats. Um, Frank said they need to wait for their pitches. They're trying to be too aggressive. Exactly, Frank. They're trying to be a little bit too aggressive and too eager to be the offensive juggernaut they've been labeled as. And offense comes in many ways. It doesn't just mean hitting the ball; it's walks. It's how many men you get across home plate, right? And a lot of that comes from walks. And so I think that's what is missing right now.
Okay. So now we assume that there may be a trade. I don't know. They weren't that aggressive this offseason, but this is supposed to be the year. So you assume that they may address something that will be a need for them. But besides that, how would you tweak this current roster to get better results? To get those people on base. So not thinking
Um,
about what they need from the trade deadline, but who you have on the current roster.
I feel like and they need more offense coming out of the catching position. Somehow they've got, you know, and McGuire just came through with an RBI single, but still he's only hitting 180 something. I think offense out of two key places, which would be, I don't think they're going to go after a catcher.
No, I don't want you to think about a trade. I
Okay.
want you to think about who's on the team right now. How would you reconfigure maybe your lineup to get more people on base
Oh,
ahead of your, you
I
know,
would I would slide Tim Anderson down
mhm.
in the order. It's kind of tough, trying to generate more RBIs when there's so many gaps in guys hitting right now. I felt like I would slide TA down just to help get his RBIs up.
Okay.
That's one main thing. I would probably sit Abreu quite a bit more. I, I I
Yeah.
got to be
Yeah.
honest. I know he's one of the heart and souls of this team and all, but he's
Be that
struggling.
on the bench.
Yeah, he can be the heart and soul sitting on the bench too.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I know it's going to change when Eloy gets here, however you say,
Yeah,
but it's not like it's guaranteed that he's going to be hitting that well or
no,
be in the
Eloy
lineup.
Eloy was hitting 222 when he
Yeah.
went down.
But
So he was struggling himself. So,
yeah,
and then we
I
got
agree with the Abreu thing. It's like, I mean,
yeah,
I know it's 87. Well, he did do well. He did hit a home run, I think, in the first game, or he
he
did
did,
something in the first game. So
he
it's
did.
87 degrees there. But it's gonna, like you mentioned before, it's gonna be cold in the playoffs. And if you can only
That's
hit when it's warm, then you
and that
serve no
doesn't do
purpose.
us any. That doesn't do us much good. And Frank, I agree. Uh, Jose Abreu in weather above 80 degrees is 297 batting average. When it warms up, he gets hot. Yes, sir. I agree. And I think that's gonna happen again. That's why I feel like he can catch some bench right now for for a little while
Until
until
it's
June.
June, right?
Until
Until
it
it's
warms
June in
up a little bit.
Chicago, but
Yeah,
then late October, especially
cold again.
if you come here, if you have to go to New York,
It's cold
say
again.
Minnesota, and the Sox get in, you may have to face them. It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. It's ugly again. So,
So he needs to figure out how to hit in cold weather.
yeah. So as far as configuring what, yeah, I would bench Abreu a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Let Gavin Sheets get a little bit more playing time. Let Andrew Vaughn handle duties at first base a little bit more. Um, while the weather changes for Pico to heat it up. You know
Always
what I
do
mean?
well. Like, okay, it's 60 something here. Would he be awful here right now because it's not 87 or 80?
Oh, I guess so. I mean, the man said 80 degrees and up to 97.
That's the
So
only time. So
60
that
something
needs,
ain't 80.
or he needs to sit next to a heater in the dugout all playoff long. Just
Right. Just have him in the corner in the dugout with one of those heaters blowing on him.
like there you go, and then play some some of the Hawaiian music. Have some
Right.
palm
And
trees
give him
there.
a
Like think
coconut
it's hot.
drink or something.
Yes, that's how Abreu can stay hot all
Yeah.
during the fall. All right, so my last question for you. Right now, the Twins are leading your division. Sox division. Why should fans be worried about the Twins?
Byron Buxton. That's
That one man, huh?
one man. And that is a hell of a man. Well, I mean, and you can't take anything away from Correa. And why should we be worried? It's because of the history of the White Sox and the Twins. Like historically, they've always been a real thorn in our side. And we're clawing, trying to take the division, and much of the time it's always been when we're in a fight for the division, it's pretty much always been with the Twins. And I think just, as valid as history could be, what has happened in the past with the Twins, I think that's why you worry about them, is because they've had the Sox number when it was a tight race before. We've gotten past them a time or two, but for the most part, they've had our number. So I think I'm worried just because of that, and I don't know. There may not be much behind that because that's just kind of like a more of a phobia than like how good the team actually is.
Mm-hmm. So they've won 4 in a row, and after
they do what we can't do. They sweep Kansas City. We can't sweep Kansas City in the series. Frank's not worried. They always have offense, but always struggle with pitching second half of the season. Absolutely. And they never do jack in the playoffs.
But I guess you could say that now for the Sox, the last 2 playoffs. So
Exactly.
is there going to be?
So now, if I still am worried about the Twins as far as the division goes. Now, if the Twins win the division, I don't think the Twins are going to do anything.
Right. I mean more being the division winners. And after today, after the Sox win this game, they'll be 4 games up. And they play Detroit next.
I like your positivity after they win this game.
Well, look. Somebody's getting fired if they lose this 5-run lead in the 9th.
Hey.
And it might be the players getting fired. Whoever that reliever is who gives up 6 runs.
Well, we saw Liam Hendricks earlier today get the last 3 out, so I don't think we're going to see him again. So I don't know. There's no reason.
Like my positivity.
What'd you say?
I'm laughing because you said you like my positivity because I'm already calling a win.
I
know they have lost in the 9th inning like that. I know.
Recently.
Yeah.
Look, to come out of New York, if they win this game, they come out of New York, winning 2 or 3 and win the series. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Especially
Frank, we had a 9-3 in the lead
Yeah, I know. That's why I said I know they've done it before, but
scary. So
I don't think they're gonna lose it this time.
One
let me
out.
think.
Yeah, okay.
So let me ask you this little bonus question.
Mhm.
So, let's talk about Josh Donaldson for a minute. Not the incident. This is
Let's
just
talk
something else.
about Josh Allen.
We'll talk about the incident after this. But my question is, so Yankees fans still like him. Maybe a lot of people around the league and other fans don't like Josh Donaldson. Is there a player on the White Sox now that you love, but if he was the same way on a different team, you would not be able to stand that player? And it's not like they're a bad person right now, even on the Sox, but
I
something,
get it.
the things that the way they act or the things they do, if they were on the Twins or if they were on the Yankees, you would be like, I can't stand that.
Frank
That
says
is
TA
my
hands down.
Frank,
I
that's my
thought about TA, but I feel like I'd still like TA. Even
if he was on the Yankees and he did what he did for the Yankees and started shushing the crowd, it's great when you're a Sox fan and he does that stuff
absolutely.
and celebrates. How would you feel though if he was doing it to your Sox?
I wouldn't like it. And I think the team itself, now I think if he played for the Twins and was
Definitely.
killing us and was shushing us and throwing bats and had swag and all of that, yeah, I'd probably
So
I'd probably hate him.
if it was a
Hate him.
team you faced a lot, like the Twins or
Yeah,
the
and had to see him strutting around. Yeah, so yeah, Frank, I guess it probably is TA. And but it's specifically against if it was TA playing like a for like Cleveland or TA playing for or Minnesota.
And
Like
see, it's more when they're playing your team. Like
oh,
you
absolutely.
don't care, like okay, Grayson Allen or Bobby Portis when they're playing against the Bulls. I don't care what they're doing when they're not playing the Bulls.
No.
But the way they celebrated playing the Bulls, I can't stand them. Now, if Grayson Allen and Portis were doing that for the Bulls, I would be like, yes, like when Dennis Rodman was here.
Isn't Bobby Portis available?
Yeah, he is. I don't know. I think that will depend on what they do with Zach or someone else because he's going to want like 12, 15. He's going to get a nice payday.
Yeah.
So it really, although the Bulls can have two max players, they're just going to be cheap. Now, so with that question I asked you, if it was for the Cubs, it would be Wilson Contreras.
So you would hate Wilson Contreras
on another team playing
on
the
another
Cubs.
team.
Mm-hmm.
On another team.
Because he's very excited and he's like a TA. He celebrates, he talks after he hits a home run the whole time to flip his bat. It's not as pronounced of a flip as Tim Anderson.
Right.
He'll do that. And he talks to everybody, including the dugout. He's always ready to fight that the ball taps him.
Now he gets tapped a lot.
Yeah.
Probably because he talks so damn much.
And then they're not always on purpose, but he thinks but I guess I would be mad too if a pitch kept hitting me.
I'd be mad too if it just like
now I like him on my team, but if he was like the Cardinals and he kept doing that, I wouldn't be able to stand him. Or any team that faced us and he did that, and especially when he would hit like a dramatic home run, I was like, they need to like knock him out the next time. He
needs your head shot.
Yeah,
but so you know who I would have hated on another team?
Who?
Is switching sports, but Joakim Noah.
Oh yes, he is. Yep.
I would have hated him. Playing for a different team.
But you love him on your team.
I love Joe, but I was not happy when he was drafted. I was like, no, they did not draft him. And then he grew on me, and it just his effort, and he came to play and got better and got stronger and was a head case and brought that energy for our team.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He is someone you wouldn't like on.
How could you not come to love Joe? You know what I mean? And you would. I think anybody would hate him on like.
Oh yeah. That's how people feel about Draymond Green. If he's on your team, you love him.
Yes.
When he's
not
not,
Draymond Green fan.
yeah, when he's not on your team, they can go
Yeah.
ahead and just knock him out.
Yeah. I don't like Kyrie Irving.
No, me either. If the way Kyrie Irving is, I may not even like him on my team.
I probably wouldn't because he wouldn't show up half the time, so I would be pissed at him. So
Yeah,
I might not like him even for the Bulls.
Yeah, and then I wouldn't care about his reasons. I'd be like, just stop
Like,
talking.
bro, I don't care nothing about that. Like, are you?
I just want you to play.
Yeah.
Now going back to Donaldson before we get out of here, let's talk about the incident.
Okay, the incident. Yeah,
I'll let you lead.
Well, for those who didn't know, like there was an incident. Oh, they're actually just showing it right now on
him shutting the crowd.
Yeah, there was an incident where I think there was. How did it start? Wasn't there like a hard?
So I remember, I think, there was a slide, and it was when they were at guaranteed rate, and Josh Donaldson pulled Tim Anderson off the base. Right. He was pulling him while he was sliding it. So Tim Anderson got up, and he was upset about it. So they had to be separated that time. And so then yesterday, the "What's up, Jackie?" is what Josh Donaldson said to him at some point. I don't even know when it happened because I don't even think most people knew anything was happening until the Yasmani
Grandal got in his face.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what it was about. Like, why is he in it? And the TA comes charging.
Right. And then the way Jose Abreu picked him up, like, and he was like, "You're not getting away from Jose. Do you see this man? You're not getting stopped."
And that's why you keep Jose.
Yeah, he can do that from the bench though too. He doesn't.
Yeah, he didn't have to. He didn't have to be in the game to do that.
He didn't need to be in the field for that. He could always pick up Tim Anderson whenever he needs to.
Carry him back to the dugout.
I was like, Tim, you better stop before you hurt your back trying to get away from that man.
Right. I'm always, and then Liam Hendricks went on the record today and said, like, that was bullshit. Like, you're not in friends with him like that to call him Jackie. So I don't, and Donaldson claims that he's called him that before. And, based on an interview that Tim said that he's the new Jackie Robinson. And I don't know. I'm not quick to always say, oh, that was racist. I think it could have been construed at best as it could get there and be racially insensitive. It could be looked at like that. And I think Donaldson ought to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
About that type of thing.
Mention worthy. Like the league investigating it. Like
No. I the fact of the matter, Tim did say that before. And so I think it's kind of bullshit that he meant it good. He meant it.
As an inside joke. Yeah,
I think that was bullshit.
He meant it as a dig. He liked to dig at him, and like just admit, like, I can get under his. I know how to get under Tim Anderson's skin, and I do it.
So I call him Jackie.
Yes.
He didn't call him Sambo or like.
Yes, he did not call it. And if it was, maybe this was his hidden, sly way of doing it. But I think it was I can get under this guy's skin. Yeah. He said he's the new Jackie. How do you think you're the new Jackie? There's only one Jackie. Whatever.
What's up, Jackie?
I'm going to call him Jackie.
Every time I see him.
Like Liam said, you're not friends. So there is no inside joke with him. You don't know him like that.
Right.
All you do, you just know how to annoy him. And it did. But you also may have woke up some people.
I like to think,
I think Frank mentioned that he hoped that the bats on one of the platforms, but it could have been racist.
Yeah, I'm not so quick to go there with it. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know, calling Yeah, I'm not ready to go there and say it was close.
I mean,
You
and
know,
I
I don't know.
guess
Who knows? Donaldson might be a racist, but that's
he
clearly
very
not.
well could
If he
be.
is, I'm sure that's not the most racist thing he said.
Right.
I mean,
But
like, yeah.
Donaldson, I believe, is known to be a jerk. So that's
He
another thing.
is.
That's another thing. Like,
He
so
is.
even
So
if he
that's
wasn't, his reputation is always going to take people to that. So you
exactly.
just shut up. Like, why are you talking to him? See what they just need to shut him up.
the-
And I
You know,
think that's what the fight was going to do. But
and not defending Donaldson, but like he gets under the skin of a lot of people, not just
he
black
does.
players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's his job.
That's one of
That's
his things that
yeah.
he does. He's like joke him Noah.
Yeah, he's like Grayson Allen,
Yeah, you know what I mean. And
Draymond
so
Green. He's the
Tim didn't accuse him of being racist. Tim
right.
just
So in what was Tim's response to it?
his response was just like, don't play with me. He's like, I don't really play like that. Like, I don't play at all. Like, just, kind of like, you don't know me like that. Don't play with me. Kind of
I
like,
wonder if Tim can actually fight.
who knows with any
I
of these
wonder.
guys.
No, I'm just thinking to myself. I wonder if he's had a fight.
Yeah, who knows?
Probably could.
I mean,
I think he wanted to shut his mouth, but
yeah,
I think it's because he picks at him, and that's why
yeah.
he's like, "Stop playing with me! Like you keep testing me. You keep trying to bring this out of me.
Yeah.
Trying to remain calm, but you keep messing with me." So that's
And I
like,
think that goes to like Frank here brought up TA. Yeah, he is the guy that other teams would go after and want to shut up.
and because you want to do that with anyone who's emotional.
Yeah,
And he's
exactly.
emotional, excited,
Yeah.
and like everything. He's a very emotional guy. So
Yeah.
that means it's very easy to get under his skin.
Easy to get at it. Yeah.
And
That's what he said. It was
Donaldson,
disrespectful. Like, yeah, I mean, it was. He meant it
yeah,
disrespectfully. I mean, no doubt about it. Racist? I don't know about that.
he may have
Disrespectful?
been
Yeah.
disrespecting him because you ain't Jackie Robinson.
I
You
mean,
just
hey,
regular old Tim Anderson. That
exactly.
might have been what he
Oh, you do Jackie Robinson? Okay, Jackie. Like I
Yeah.
could see another player of any color using that to dig
Mhm.
at him for that. For all that's worth. I mean, just like uh, when Tommy Harris first got to the Bears. When Tommy Harris was drafted, and he said something about look out for
Oh
number
yeah,
97 or something, and
Olin Cruz.
the Cruz wouldn't let him live that down, and like, what's and so I get it. Like anytime a young guy makes some sort of a proclamation, yeah, a guy can use that to,
But Donaldson needs to stop disrespecting and leave Tim. Like Tim has now, he's been warned. Tim has told him, "Don't play with me. I don't play." Now I don't think they'll face each other again unless it's the playoffs. So
yeah, this was it. This was it.
so they
Unless
won't be
face
able to
off in
get
the
any.
playoff, this is
So
it.
they got their revenge by winning 2 out of 3.
Exactly. It did not help that Yasmani Grandal went down on strikes to end the game after he's the one who seemed to instigate the
Right.
play.
It would have. I guess it would have just stayed quiet if Yasma. I guess Tim must have gone into the dugout and said
And
something,
start
right?
talking, and then Yaz said something to him when he came
And
out.
that's a good teammate. Like,
But that is.
yeah.
That is.
So
That is. So
you're
you like
not
to
gonna
see
play
that?
with anyone. We don't do that. Racist, not racist, disrespectful, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
We see
Whatever
it
is.
as disrespect. So now, since he felt it was disrespectful, then you need to apologize and don't let that happen again.
Right. So I think the point was made.
Yeah.
We got a nice scuffle. We got a bit of a brouhaha, not a real one.
Right.
Hopefully,
And it's 0-2. Bottom of the ninth. The Sox are about to win, like I said.
all right, Sox are gonna win this.
So now, did they get swept? Were they swept in Chicago?
Yes.
Okay. So it'll be. So they won these 2, and all right, and they won the 3. So they went 2-4 against the Yankees.
All right. Very good. Now, see, this is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge. Oh, I before we go, I have to mention Johnny Cueto,
Oh,
looking
yeah.
like Johnny Cueto from 10 years ago. Just thrown 12 innings, got a 0.0 ERA, 12 strikeouts. Still 0-0 win-loss record, but great addition. They
Mm-hmm.
went out of four. Chicago, Frank. Okay, thank you for the correction.
He said what?
Frank said the Sox won one out
Oh,
of four in Chicago,
okay.
so they didn't get swept,
Okay.
but they got beat. They got beat the hell out of.
Right. So they went 3-4 against.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-4 against the. That's better than the 2-4. I thought.
Yeah. So, good game.
Yeah,
Good
but
win.
that
Good
Johnny
win.
Cueto's a nice pickup.
That is a
Right,
nice
as of right now. Now we don't know what happened later, but
as of right now.
as of right now.
Lance Lynn expected back in the next couple of weeks, as well as Eloy. So there's more upside
Yeah.
than downside to be had with this team still. They're still got some pieces coming back, and they still got a good shot at it. Now I need Minnesota to start losing some games. I feel this organization a great team.
Well, hopefully, yeah, Frank. Hopefully,
Yeah, Frank. I hope so.
this might be. I mean, sometimes teams need that something that unifies them, and this might have been the thing. A teammate stood up for another one when maybe Tim was going to drop
Maybe
it.
this galvanizes the
Yeah.
Sox bats, and
that's real. That's good teamwork.
yeah.
So hopefully it continues. They're gonna, they need their pitching. I know they while they wait for other people, they have, some two what I don't know. Maybe Velasquez isn't in the rotation anymore since
I think
Kopech
that's who moves out of the rotation is Velasquez.
Okay.
I think you see him again, maybe like on a bullpen day or something
Okay.
like that occasionally. But I would think he would be the guy. But who knows? It's one of those good problems. I would say.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got other problems, but I think that's one of a good problem.
This might be the turning point that Sox fans were looking for.
Hey, it could be. I definitely think it helped them pull out these two games today.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what it does for the rest of the season. Any closing remarks, Kristen?
Go Chicago.
Go Chicago. Go White Sox. Go
Cubs.
Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks.
Sky. Defending champion Sky.
Candace Parker with a triple-double.
Yeah.
Today. I think I saw that.
Yeah, she was.
WNBA player with a triple-double.
Yeah.
I did.
It's nice.
I did.
Having winners.
Right. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Once again, this is Emilio Bucks.
Kristen Pertite.
And this is Plunk, the show where we celebrate two teams and one city. One note is that next week we will be off for the Memorial Day weekend. So we will be joining you again in 2 weeks, hopefully with a special guest. We're working on solidifying that. We will let you know about that in the next coming weeks. And
tell your friends to check us out on YouTube if they didn't catch it tonight.
Go subscribe. Hit that little subscribe button. And Deb's birthday.
Whose birthday?
Deb's birthday next Sunday. All right. So we'll definitely celebrate that.
I'm going to have a drink for Deb.
That's right. Or 3. All right. This is Plunk.
You were